I study how people adjust to chronic illness, and a chronic illness is different from an acute illness in that it either lasts a long time or there's a potential for recurrence or setbacks. So, for example, heart disease is a chronic illness. Even if you're treated and treated successfully, to some extent you still have the disease, you still have to be concerned about it in the future. Cancer is another chronic illness, and right now I'm studying people with diabetes. That's right. So in the summertime, these kids with diabetes, they're out there and they're running around and they're playing, and they get their regimen all adjusted. And in the wintertime, you think you're going to go outside, but then all of a sudden it rains or all of a sudden it snows, the weather's unpredictable. And the problem is you give yourself a certain dose of insulin, and that is based on what you've done in the past and what you're going to do in the future. And so maybe you've just given yourself some insulin, or you haven't given yourself very much insulin because you thought you were going to exercise, but then you didn't exercise. Now, in the area of diabetes, actually, there are so many different kinds of insulin now that we can address even a lot of those issues. I think people used to think that as children moved through the teenage years, they turned more to peers for support, and peers can be supportive, but it's not to say that parents are not still supportive. And in fact, diabetes is a good area in which this is demonstrated. So as kids with diabetes move through the teenage years, parents often think, okay, well now you're 15, 16, this is your responsibility, I'm not going to remind you of these tasks, you're growing up and you can handle it on your own. But again, it's a very complicated illness to manage, and what we found is that the kids who do the best, even into the late teens, are the ones where parents are still being helpful and still being involved. So again, the parent has that challenge of trying to figure out a way to be helpful, but not intrusive.